Hello and welcome to a special episode from Adapulse, the channel that brings you some of the news, some of the hand-picked catalyst proposals, and some of the emerging projects that are coming through the Cardano ecosystem. Now, normally we're discussing an article from the Adapulse website. Not today. Today we are discussing this, Crypt Keeper, which is a way to keep your seed phrase safe. And also, if you wait till the end, you'll get the opportunity to get yourself a free one of these. So stay tuned for that. But do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe, and get that bell button so you get notified as soon as we've got videos out. And remember to leave comments below. Really good for our metrics, and we want to hear what you guys are thinking. But also do share far and wide, because we are an educational platform, and we want to educate as many people as possible. And do remember, you can further support us by delegating your ADA to either Swag, Zod, or myself, ATM. So I'm Josh, your presenter for Adapulse today. Let's crack on with this. At Adapulse, as we've said many times before, we are huge fans of self-custody, which is managing your own ADA, and this applies to the whole crypto sphere in general, just managing your crypto. But it does come, with its benefits, but also comes with its risks. And one of the weaker spot parts of it is managing your seed phrase. Now, in the article that we did a while ago, one of the solutions was carving the seed phrase into metal plates, and that there are companies that do that. Now, that's exactly what Crypt Keeper do, and I'll provide a link to their website below. I must point out, I'm not paid to do this. This isn't paid advertising or anything like that. This is useful to our viewers who we are advising to, manage their own seed phrase, and here's a safe option to do so. So what I'm going to do is basically, I've got it here, shrink wrapped, brand new. I'm going to open it up. We're going to open it up together, and you can see if it's right for you. But before I do, let's take a look at their advert. Wow, so that is some sexy ass marketing material they've got going on there. Really building those expectations up. So they got the talk, but have they got the talent? So before we crack into it, remember, stay till the end to get the code, and a lucky two per week, because we do 2 shows a week, will get a chance to get yourself a free one of these, and they retail at around $65. But for now, let's just crack this baby open and see what's inside. Right, so this is how it arrives. Like I said, this is all shrink wrapped. Now, this was an added extra. You don't need this, but this is what I went for, just for demonstration purposes. Is basically a punch and a drill bit. But, you can improvise yourself. This isn't necessary, but it's an added extra they do supply. Now, let's crack open this. I'm a big fan of decent packaging. That is one thing. So I hope the advert lives up to the expectations on this. So there you have it. Oh, I like the little magnetic little bit there. That does it for me. Right. And the first thing you see is the bit 39 English word list. Now, if you've watched our previous videos before, you'll know that the seed phrases are all made up of the bit 39 word list. Now, here they are listed in alphabetical order. So you see the first one at the top, abandon, and that is 0001. And as we know, there are 2,048. And so we end with Zoo, which is number 2840. So why they're all numbered? Well, we'll find out. The next part is pretty straightforward, really. Oh, if I can get out of the box. This is obviously, if you've got your 24-word seed phrase, you would write it down here with the corresponding number that you find in your BIP39 book. So now we come to the plate itself. Now, this one's a ledger one, hence you can see it's got ledger written on it. There are actually different types. So this is the standard version. This is the cheaper one that you can get for $50. But if you're a Cardano aficionado, you can always opt for the Ada Lovelace version, which is obviously the one I would go for. But still, back to the plate itself. You can see, even once you take them out, you have two plates that are completely identical. But as you can see, they've got little notches in them. So if I take these out and slot them on, they can be a bit fiddly to get on. But yeah, once they're on, that's pretty solidly together. And that's a good way of storing your seed phrase. You know, it's fireproof. I don't know if I could probably hit it with a hammer. I don't know how many beatings it would take, but still, let's go back to the plate itself. So like I said, it's got numbers on the, this is for ledger, and you've got numbers on the front, so you might want to identify it. Like you've seen, I've got a few. So you might have 2, 3, 4, or, you know, however many wallets you have. So you can number them on the front. Now let's talk about getting your seed phrase onto the plate itself. So let's move the box away for a second. And as I said earlier, you've got two identical plates. Now it's all done with numbers. So in a way, just by using these, you're automatically encoding it to a certain degree, although not the most secure, as it's the way we're going to do it is just correspond to the BIP39 list. Now, as I mentioned, you have your punch and you have your drill bit. So when you start with the seed phrase, let's take one plate and push the other one aside. Now, this will be the first letter in the seed phrase. So I'm going to put a punch in the number 1. If I push down hard enough, makes a little ping sound. Can do it again. And what I've effectively done is I've just given that 1, because it's the first number in my seed phrase, a little punch, and I'm going to drill it shortly. I'm now going to proceed to punch all the numbers going down. So start going to 2, and 3, because these are going to be the first 12 digits of my seed phrase. And so there you are, all first 12 holes punched in, as you can see, going from 1 all the way through to 12. Now, that takes us to the next part. First of all, I'm going to take my drill bit that came with it, and I'm going to insert it into a drill. There you go. So I've punched the holes, and now what I'm going to do is clamp it to the table, just so it doesn't slip around while I'm drilling it. And I'm literally just going to drill where I've punched all the holes. So, here you go. If I unclamp it, brush it off a little bit, you can see that where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're the ones that are drilled out. The next thing I want to quickly point out is that you have 4 columns of numbers here. And the first column, you've only got a 1, a 2, and a 0. And all the rest, you have 0 to 9. Now, so obviously if we were putting in the first word that's in the BIP39 list, abandon. Now, obviously, you have 3 options at the beginning, 1, 2, and 0. So obviously we want 0. And then we will be doing 0 again, and then we'll be, what we did on the numbers there, we'll be marking out the number 1. Now, you could, if you wanted, just mark out the 1 and ignore everything else because it's all 0. How you do it, it's up to you. So now, let's fast forward. We've put in our whole seed phrase, and there you have it in a fireproof, possibly bomb-proof. Good Lord knows, this is a hefty piece of metal there. And yeah, it's just a cool way to keep your seed phrase, and especially with the other design options as well. This being obviously my favorite. And that brings us to the end of the episode for today. So I hope it's been super helpful to you. Now, for your chance to claim your free Crypt Keeper, they've agreed to give away 2 per week exclusively to our viewers. And the code that you enter in the basket is below. Not going to stay there forever. And like I said, only 2 per week, and they retail at $65. So it's a great opportunity to get your hands on them. Now, do remember to click the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that bell button so you get notified as soon as we've got content available. And we want to hear your comments. If you have a Crypt Keeper or anything like that, do comment below and tell us your experience. And do share. You know, share far and wide. We're an educational platform, so obviously we want to educate as many people as possible. And remember, you can further support the Adapulse channel by delegating your ADA to either Swag, Zod, or myself, ATM. And that's it. I'm Josh, your presenter from Adapulse for today. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.